Sure. So,
after many of these events, the independent commissioners after you attack you plan to appoint an independent high-level commission to review all the facts.
I'll directly answer your questions. Before I start answering questions unrelated to the discussion that we've had about the benefits that we're providing to the community, let's take those questions first. I'll come back to you first. Go ahead.
Governor, do you plan to call a special session either this year or early next year? Next year you would be starting one anyway, but will you call a special session now or soon?
I'll put you second in the queue. Let me make clear, maybe I wasn't clear. Before I start taking questions unrelated to the benefits that we're providing to the community, we have an obligation as a state to communicate to the people of this community the benefits that are available to them. Their lives are crushed. They have no idea what's going on. They may have no idea whatsoever how they're going to pay a bill. Let me give you an easy example of something explained to me. There was a parent who lost some glasses that were crushed in everything that happened. And he told someone he had no money to pay for it. We have money to pay for that stuff. There are people who have no idea about getting food. We have money that can buy them food. Let's discuss, if you have any questions about these benefits. If you don't have any questions, that's fine, but if there's anybody here.
Governor, with all due respect, for 3 days this community has heard the version of the story based in large part on what you told them on Wednesday afternoon, that these officers had acted with amazing courage. Today we learned that 19 officers stood in the hallway of that school for nearly an hour while a gunman was inside with those children, which goes against the way they've been trained.
Sure, and I'm going to be answering that, and that's his.
Do you know these facts at the time? Or are you trying to create a favorable narrative?
No, I'm going to fully answer it, because that's what he asked, and I told him I'm going to answer his question first. Hold it. I understand. Is there anybody here who has any question about the benefits that are being provided to anybody here who's suffered because of this crime?
There are no hands going up.
All right. So let me answer your question. So your question. No, I remember it. Short answer, yes, I was misled. I am livid about what happened. I was on this very stage 2 days ago, and I was telling the public information that had been told to me in a room just a few yards behind where we're located right now. I wrote down hand notes in detail about what everybody in that room told me in sequential order about what happened. And when I came out here on this stage and told the public what happened, it was a recitation of what people in that room told me, whether it be law enforcement officials or non-law enforcement officials, whatever the case may be. And as everybody has learned, the information that I was given turned out in part to be inaccurate. And I'm absolutely livid about that. And here's my expectation. My expectation is that the law enforcement leaders that are leading the investigations, which includes the Texas Rangers and the FBI, they get to the bottom of every fact with absolute certainty. There are people who deserve answers the most, and those are the families whose lives have been destroyed. They need answers that are accurate, and it is inexcusable that they may have suffered from any inaccurate information whatsoever. And it is imperative that the leaders of the investigations about exactly what happened get down to the very second of exactly what happened with 100% accuracy and explain it to the public, but most importantly, to the victims who've been devastated.
Governor, if I could just quickly follow up. You know, law enforcement has... Sir.
He had a backup question, and I'm coming to you next.
Law enforcement has traditionally been the pride of the state in many ways. Are you worried that that bond of trust has been ruptured and it's going to be a long time before there is sort of that bond of trust.
My expectation is that as we speak and every minute going forward, law enforcement is going to earn the trust of the public by doing exactly what they're supposed to do from this point on, and that is making sure that they thoroughly, exhaustively investigate exactly what happened and explain to you and the public and the victims of the crime exactly what happened.